Within the banking space, our retail customer access control solution is the industry standard for managing customer access to ATM and ITM lobbies outside of traditional bank open hours. Whether it be an ATM lobby or an ITM lobby or a digital branch or any type of evolving banking resources to support customers on extended hours. With that solution, we use a multimedia reader to credential customers on a financial card. Entering that space, a customer would present their card. They could present it as a mag stripe and insert the mag stripe. They could present an NFC card for that tap and go experience. The MMR also supports mobile wallets, so a mobile device, a smartwatch. All of those devices can authenticate that customer to provide access to that extended hours facility. With the MMR 2.0, we also have a Bluetooth technology, and that supports an integration through an SDK into the client's mobile app that will support either a cloud or local door unlock via a manual or an automated process, which would provide a true frictionless solution for that customer experience. Do you want to expand further on the technology behind that MMR 2.0?
Yeah, sure. The MMR has been, we have the product deployed within 23 of the top 25 financial institutions in the U.S., and now we're starting to deploy the product throughout the Caribbean and out throughout the EU. I've had great success with that. Many of the clients that are utilizing the solution are taking advantage of the integration of our active presence detector with a door contact to make sure that the ATM lobby is secure, as well as detecting if the door is ajar. There's a lot of use cases that are that we've developed in order to provide notifications of customers not being allowed, not able to get into the lobby, customers that potentially can't get out of the ATM lobby, supervision of their particular banking environments. We've, basically, our solution is an access control solution with physical and RFID skimming detection, tamper detection, impact detection. The latest 2.0 supports the latest release of the features I just mentioned about not being able to get in or get out of an ATM lobby. Add the addition of our light sensor. Also make sure that you've been able to deploy our technology in an environment to monitor. You have safe lighting requirements in many states in the United States, in the U.S. That light is your cheapest safety measure or security device. So monitoring to make sure that your lighting is working effectively. We have a flagship customer, Apple Bank in New York, that has deployed this whole end-to-end solution throughout 80 of their facilities. And basically the ROI was 6 months because they were able to basically take their ATM lobbies that were hotels and bathrooms and turn them into clean branded banking facilities. They were able to monitor when cleaning people were turning off lights to the ATM lobby when they were done cleaning the branch in the facility. So they were able to make sure that their ATM banking environments were illuminated and safe for their customers to use without any loitering. This is our new standard that we introduced at the third quarter of 2021. We've literally have sold over 5,000 readers over the last couple of years to many of these institutions, small and large, throughout the U.S. and throughout the world. We've had a great success in mitigating skimming. We've actually, working with law enforcement, with the FBI and the Secret Service, utilizes our solution to actually capture criminals that are performing skimming attempts on ATM lobbies, because basically our reader is a detection system. It detects when there's a skimming device attached to it. Typically, criminals are attaching skimming devices to our reader and then putting the PIN capture device on the ATM. So law enforcement was basically able to set up surveillance of a location and actually capturing the people that are returning to remove the PIN capture device on the ATM. As banks are shrinking, bank branches are shrinking in size. Many of our customers that traditionally haven't created ATM lobbies in the past are now opening ATM lobbies because of our solution. The deployment of drive-up ATMs have been subject to a lot of explosion attacks, hook and chain attacks. ATM lobbies are providing, it's a branded 24-hour banking solution. There's a lot of banks that have spent, hundreds of $1,000s protecting the customer who comes into their facility to take $20 out of their statement savings account. But in an ATM environment, 24/7, they have some lighting, a camera, and in a lot of cases where there is no ATM lobby, there's no protection to that customer using the lobby. Customers that are using drive-up facilities are subject to, criminals running by them as cash is dispensed. An ATM environment is a much safer and a much cleaner and branded environment for customers to use banking facilities. We have sold the solution to many laundromats throughout the United States that are using it to control access to their laundromats after hours. And now, from the success that we've had in the banking industry, there's several retail organizations that are high-end retail organizations that are subject to smash and grab robberies that are actually considering installing our solution to provide retail access control into their facilities to help protect their customers and their staff for those types of events, because smash and grab robberies are on the rise. And the only way to really mitigate it is to provide an environment where you want to be able to vet the customer before they come into the facility. So with that, the integration into a mobile app and, have someone onboard themselves or scan a QR code outside of the facility to download the client's retail app that has our SDK built into it, take a picture of their driver's license, do a 3-second background check on them. They have no priors, you can issue them a credential to gain access to that facility. To me, that's providing a much safer access environment into those high retail stores, protecting the customers as well as protecting the staff. So really look forward to the deployment of our solution into other retail organizations. We do have our facility, and this is retail customer access control. It's not building access control. I mean, that is a solution that's provided by many access control companies that provide amazing products from supporting Prox cards, biometric readers that are very effective, but our solution is a perfect solution for any retail environment. The reason why we developed the SDK to integrate into retail mobile apps is there's many stores out that when a customer comes into the facility, in the high-end stores, they have sales reps that basically they work with on a frequent basis. And especially in large retail environments, let's say like a Nordstrom or a Neiman Marcus, and because it is Bluetooth, as a customer walks into a facility, because we're integrated via Bluetooth, we have the ability that when a customer walks into a facility, we can send a notification to retail management or that sales rep that's assigned to that customer to provide a much more intimate retail experience, because now when someone walks into a facility, they can receive a notification, or the retail staff can receive a notification of that customer entering their facility, and then be able to notify them that their customer entered the facility and be able to greet that customer much more quicker than being that customer having to ask for that person. We also have the ability with the SDK, based upon the demographics of that person that credential is assigned to, that when they enter the facility, if that facility doesn't have analytics, we can now utilize that credentialing to identify that customer and their demographics to be able to change the digital signage experience for that customer when they enter the facility. With the latest 2.0 reader, the predecessor, the 1.5, did not support remote firmware updates. So with the latest release of the 2.0 reader, it allows the firmware in the reader actually to be updated with our ACS software suite, in addition to the controller's firmware. So with this latest design, we're future-proofing the technology by allowing this technology to be remotely updated as new requirements are introduced by our clients. Any type of deployment of any type of feature could be remotely deployed, and you don't have to roll a truck to have a technician service the location or update the location. The major benefits of the MMR reader, besides its physical and RFID skimming detection, it has built-in tamper detection with a gyroscope. It has impact detection with an accelerometer, cable cut detection. It has encrypted communication. It has reader place detection, and it also has shimmer detection built into it. So, I mean, we've had a great success in mitigating skimming. You know, we have customers out there that are still looking to purchase, are still purchasing readers from us that don't have any skimming detection. Unfortunately, those readers are very easy to skim. I know skimming took a dive and was not as prevalent over previous years during the COVID times because ATM volume traffic had reduced dramatically. But now that COVID is behind us for the most part, and it's still out there, but with the deployment of this reader, we're saving the financial institution's brand. I mean, one skimming attempt could cost a financial institution more money than it costs to buy the reader. So we highly recommend that customers don't buy the readers that we sell that don't have skimming detection in it, but we know from budgetary constraints that's what they can afford. But we recently reduced access control as a service, so that way those institutions that don't have the ability to pay for the solution up front, we now have a plan where you could purchase the product over a lease plan from 3 to 5 years to make it much easier to deploy the solution as well.
Awesome. Awesome. And all that technology that you're referring to has actually been patented and really anchors the security of this reader.
Absolutely. Yes, our intellectual property is very well protected with our reader, as the industry knows. And we're very proud of the results that we've had with it and how we've been able to mitigate skimming. Since the deployment of this product, there has not been one skimming event that has been detected by our reader that has been successful.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, we're very proud of that. Very proud of the engineers and the staff that developed the solution. Very grateful for what they've been able to do for the organization, and look forward to the opportunities that are developing in other industries.